All right, guys. I am Aaron, and this is my co-host Candace with the Totally Awesome Show, and we are joined by the amazingly talented, legendary Vanessa Marshall. And we're so glad we could finally make this happen.
Hi there. Grateful to be here.
All
So
right,
excited.
cool, cool. We're just gonna kind of hang out, talk a little bit, just about kind of what got you started in showbiz, pretty much. How did you catch the acting bug? Is usually the first thing we like to know.
Yeah, that's a great question. I grew up in Los Angeles, somewhat immersed in the entertainment business as my mom was an actress and my father was a TV news reporter. So, and I went to a school where most of the attendees, their parents were also in the business. So I've got an up close and personal look at the business side of things from a very young age. So I think I might come by the bug genetically, vis-a-vis my mom's talent. But I think more than anything, I'm a storyteller and I love stories. And whether I'm telling them, facilitating them, or amplifying them in any way, shape, or form, lifting them up, I'm happy. So I don't need to act per se. I've never had that like, I gotta, it just doesn't drive me that way. But I crave stories and love helping to tell them. So that's been true whether it's in a commercial or in a TV show, an animated series, an animated film. Any version of a story, I'm all about it. So I feel like there's healing on the other side of telling those stories, and it kind of brings us all together. And I'm so grateful that social media has given us the ability to really enjoy things together. I'm looking forward to our great season ahead. We have all kinds of fun things coming up. So while I do have the bug, I also am just a huge fan. So yeah.
And that definitely helps being on both sides, being a fan, but also loving to tell the stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's sort of, it takes the pressure off because I think I like to feel useful, and that's not about ego, that's about service. And so I mean, I come from a theater background, and we were always taught that the playwright is the key, and we're there to bring those words to life, and it's our duty to lift them up, like I said. And in a weird way, I know actors can be seen as somewhat grandiose or self-centered or even narcissistic, but I actually think it takes a lot of humility to be willing to be visible and vulnerable and authentic in front of people. And I really admire actors' courage to be seen, and I aspire to that as well. I mean, in my case, it's to be heard, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very cool, and I think that's the cool thing, especially about the nerd culture. A lot of the intellectual properties, the storytelling. It could be an alien or a robot, but if it's well written, so many people find a little piece of them in so many of these different characters throughout all these
Exactly.
different universes. And the acting performance, it would be cool on paper, but when it's really brought to life by somebody who's passionate about that character and really understands the nuances, it
Mhm.
could be the most out there thing ever, but somehow very human and very relatable. That pretty much anybody can kind of find one character in a show that they like. You know what? I really, that little garbage can looking robot. I feel where he's coming from. You know what I mean? I feel his struggle. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Well, you
yeah.
talked about theater. I'm actually kind of curious. What are some of your favorite projects when it comes to theater? Because whether it be a big audience or a very intimate audience, like you said, that there's that vulnerability that you have to bring forth as an actor. So what are some of your projects that you've been involved in for theater?
Well, I got to play Nora in A Doll's House, and that it's an Ibsen play. I loved doing that. I've done a bunch of different Shakespearean plays. I There's Chekhov. I got to play Masha in The Three Sisters, and so I really, having gone to an acting graduate school, we were able to do all the classics, and we did Commedia dell'arte, and I went to college in New Jersey at Princeton, and we would go into the city and see all sorts of theater in Manhattan. And there was all this sort of alternative Brecht and this and that, and I just ate it up, and whether it's a huge theater or a small venue, it doesn't matter. I mean, getting at the truth of the moment and sharing that together is such an intimate thing, regardless of space. And yeah, I live for that. In fact, my favorite thing in the world to do is to use my airline miles to go to London and see theater in London, because I saw Pirandello's Henry IV, I think with Ian Harris. It was, I don't know, there you just can't go wrong. It really feeds the soul. I go by myself. I don't even care. It's so awesome.
Right.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, my dad and I are musicians, and we'd go to concerts as much as possible and shows, and always my favorite. It doesn't matter how big or small the act is. I tell everybody this, if we're gonna go to one of the big arenas, cool, that's great to say we went, but you get the real experience when you're in those smaller venues, and you can get intimate and small, and there isn't this, they're trying to make a big show of it. It's actually about the thing that you're there to see. Like, they're just diving headfirst in. So
forgive me, it was Richard Harris in Henry IV, and then I saw Ian McKellen in Richard III.
Oh, awesome.
Oh my gosh. It was just epic, just epic. So magical. I mean, those stories, they really transcend, and that's, I think, why I respond so much to Star Wars. It's, that those are such iconic characters as well that go through the different journeys that, like you said, we can all identify with. And again, I was in 90-seat theaters, and the National Theater. There's a huge difference, but the impact was similar and profound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Well, Star Wars is kind of a big space opera, so I mean, that's a lot of these stories. They have that long arcing. It's about the story. It's the lasers and the swords and the jumping's cool, but it's really about the characters' stories and journeys that again, people relate to, and you really feel for them after a while when you're getting into them. As a fan, we talked to the kind of the whole gambit of actors, and the older school, maybe they weren't necessarily super into what, it was just a job for them, especially back in the, when we were growing up in the 80s. A lot of those guys, it was kind of a gig. It was like, oh, it's cool. I'm, like we've gotten to know some of the Transformers guys, and we're just a transforming car toy, but whatever, it's paying for my house, so it's cool. But being a fan, how cool is it to be in some of these properties that you actually already were kind of, I mean, it's got to be pretty awesome.
Mind blowing. I mean, it's amazing. When I got Mary Jane in Spectacular Spider-Man, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I love Peter Parker, and I love her influence on him, and how she sort of helps him grow and empower himself, and stay in her power as well. And Wonder Woman, to go over to DC, it was an honor to play Wonder Woman. And of course, Black Canary and Young Justice, or Injustice 2, the video game. But I mean, those are just some ridiculously iconic. And I mean, okay, so I'm a huge Star Wars fan, as you can see.
Me too.
Yeah, heard you both.
I was like, all the books.
I feel left out. I don't have any, cool gear in my background, but yeah.
Well, what's really cool is most of these are gifts from people that I've met at various Comic-Cons, and so I hold those very dear to my heart. And so anyway, when I was able to be a part of the Lucasfilm franchise, and of course Disney now, but to be a part of that storytelling was such an honor. I think definitely, if I had to pick one job that stands out as being perhaps the most poignant, it would probably be Hera in Star Wars Rebels.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, that was one thing I was gonna ask you. What's your favorite IP that you've been a part of, meaningful wise to you? But we all kind of figured that.
Yeah, I feel like it goes Star Wars, Marvel, and then DC. If I had to,
right? If you have to,
if you have to make that list,
and
right?
Yeah,
that's very cool. I actually just got her to watch the Flashpoint movie, the animated movie, which is probably my favorite DC thing
So
period.
crazy,
It's
right?
so good. And I told her I love, Susan's amazing and all, like
Oh,
the,
I
in
love
the
Susan
kind of
Eckler.
the
Yeah.
mainline stuff, but I told Candace that, Vanessa is my favorite darkest timeline Wonder Woman, like the really,
Oh, it is
you
a
know,
dark, yeah.
You
yeah,
were
she's
amazing in
always,
that.
yeah, no, it's so
Oh my
good.
gosh.
So
What
good.
she does with Aquaman, it's like, oh
Oh,
my Lord.
I
yeah.
know.
How
Crazy.
fun is that to place, kind of that outside the normal wheelhouse? You're taking an iconic character that's been around for,
Yeah.
you know, decades and decades, and you kind of
Yeah.
get to play around a little bit different and
That
go a little
was
dark.
incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, that was incredible. I
Mhm.
could not even, I mean, I knew of the storyline, but for some reason it just felt so counterintuitive. But of course,
Right.
that's the point,
Right.
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Gotta be a
Yeah.
little bit liberating to go to the dark side a little bit. So
It's always
Sure, why
fun.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun to be
Yeah.
bad every once in a while, let
absolutely.
loose.
No, Hera is such a iconic character, like you said before, and I absolutely, you really do bring something special to that character, and you can tell throughout the entire performance from her introduction to the very end. It's like
Mhm.
you're there, you're very present with that, and I think that does show through in the show and what makes it outstanding. So, how did you end up doing that?
Well, I I care a lot. I care a lot about people,
Mhm.
and Hera cares a lot.
Yes.
She might be a little more focused than I am. I am easily distracted at times. Sometimes I take things too personally, or I get, I overthink and this and that. I mean, I drew a lot of strength from her character in that she is so focused
Mhm.
that her priority, I mean, she does come from her heart, but she is really capable of using her mind to transcend what really matters. And I so admired that about her. And perhaps I tried to, I don't know, accentuate that part of myself that has that focus and ability. It's hard not to respond to um, people in our culture who are marginalized, and it's heartbreaking. And
Mhm.
when I auditioned for the role, there was a monologue that very much reminded me of different causes that we face here in America, and certain injustices. And I felt like I plugged into with the kind of specificity that if I could make a difference, the way it seemed that this character was truly putting her life on the line to do so, that I would be honored to do that. And so I almost use the audition as an opportunity to execute that caring that I have, and hope that it landed in an appropriate way. And I guess it did.
Mm-hmm.
And I just continued in that vein. And there's something about her fighting for people who can't fight for themselves, or bringing together, seeing the best in people and putting a group together that will discover their higher selves together as a group, as a chosen family. And her ability to sort of throw a party, if you will. I kind of have that same ability. I see the good in people, and I want to bring people together, and that motivates me in theater, in life. I love the idea of chosen family. And so I think those things very much speak to my heart, and I kind of feel like having the opportunity to just go fully into that space within me, it was like a dream come true. And again, I wish I could have as much of an impact and as much focus as she does. And I do try to use my platform for good,
Right.
but it
Yeah.
seems like Hera really kills it.
Right, right. Yeah,
So,
that's a really cool, interesting viewpoint. Because there are a lot of parts that a lot of actors will say, that it was easy because I was just playing myself, or this character's totally not me. But I feel
mm,
like, unless the character's a completely heinous,
right.
person, there's always that little bit that you do have in you, personality wise. Maybe it's not your, maybe you're known as a fun loving, easygoing party person, and your character is very stoic, and but that you're always pulling from somewhere that is an actual real part of your personality. And like you said, maybe kind of using it as a cathartic way to maybe try to work on that personality trait, even, or that the
Yeah.
way you
And I
project
think
yourself to others, maybe.
in a weird way, that's a lot what Wonder Woman was like, Black
Mhm.
Canary,
Mhm.
even She-Hulk, when I played She-Hulk. There are these very strong women, and I'm a martial artist. Back in, oh gosh, like 1998, I weighed like 205 pounds, and I'm around 150 now, and I've sort of maintained this 50-pound weight loss for over 20 years, or however long, if you do the math,
Mhm.
23 years, or more. And I've been on this physical journey to find my voice, empower myself, and own that power.
Mhm.
And I hope to encourage other women to do the same, other humans to do the same, even animals to do the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
mean, but I had to find sort of the best parts of my personality for those women, and I wondered often if whatever that journey was for me, that strength of character that it took for me to, I don't want to say become right-sized, because there's no, I'm not into body shaming or anything like that. I don't mean that. All I know is that when I fell in love with myself and accepted myself as a larger person,
Mhm.
it seemed like the weight served me as a way of hiding.
Mhm.
And when I fell in love with myself and said, I'm just gonna accept myself, and I got into exercise just for fun, not with a goal in mind, and then the weight kind of fell off. It was just this strange paradox,
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
that I sort of found my strength, if you will, and it's been easy to maintain, because it's not like I did some crazy thing to acquire this. I want to say right size, because I'm not medicating my feelings with food or
Right.
something.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. For
Not
you. Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
not to get too heavy.
Yeah.
And believe me, you
Right.
can ask anyone. I eat a lot.
Yeah.
I really
Yep.
do. I
Mhm.
mean, like if I go on a date with a guy, I don't want them to pay for me, because it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. You
No,
don't know what you're getting into, buddy.
dude,
I can
no,
throw
Yeah.
down as
no.
well, so
Yeah. She can.
I know how
Yeah.
that
She can.
is.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah.
no. I mean, the thing is, like, you think you're going to get a cheap date because I don't drink.
Right. Right. Well,
The
yeah.
bad
But
news is
No,
you'll make
I
up for
do, dude, a
the
lot of
full
sides,
course.
a lot of
uh,
sides. Like
yeah.
Yup.
I eat a ton, and I can't let a guy pay for it. I can't do it.
Yeah. And
Anyway,
I respect that. I respect that.
No, but it sounds like you did find your focus. I mean, even before, like you mentioned that you might have not been focused, but you found your strength, you found a focus. And
Yeah,
sometimes when you find that purpose, you just end up it ends up just working itself out, which is
exactly. So I don't want it to sound like there's any virtue in what I did.
Right.
I let go.
Right.
yeah.
I let go and discovered
Yeah.
what I naturally, and I'm not like, most women who are on camera are like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
like really,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a healthy Italian gal. Like I'm not some
Yeah.
slim,
You're right.
I mean,
Right.
I'm an average human. I like being average. It's good.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't want to
Yep.
model like skeletal, not that there's anything wrong with skeletal, but
Right.
no, I mean, I mean
Yeah.
it
Right.
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Healthy is
everyone,
good.
Yep.
yeah,
Healthy is
healthy is
good.
Right.
good.
Balance, whatever
Yeah.
your genetics ends up, you end up landing
Yeah.
at. And throughout life, even with, different age factors, that factors into it as well. I mean, my
Yeah.
own body has changed also. So like, I completely understand where you're coming from. So,
Right.
Yeah, I think self-love,
mhm.
if self-love is guiding the journey
Yep.
and loving others
Right.
equally,
Yep.
and I guess going toward love and away from fear, if you will,
Mhm.
whatever the body size is that follows from that, whether it's larger or smaller, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And
Right.
that's my point, is that when
Yep.
it
Right.
didn't matter, things just kind of leveled out. And
Right.
Yeah.
but I do wonder if because that is pretty significant. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
my doctor reminds me, like, hey, by the way, you're maintaining an
Mhm.
over 50-pound weight loss for more than 20 years. Like the
Yeah.
statistics on that are like, it just doesn't, he says, give yourself credit for that. And
Right.
that's the other thing, is that like we do all this work on ourselves. We try to live our best lives and this and that. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal to
Right.
us
No.
Right.
in the moment, you know what I mean? But
Right.
it is actually a huge feat to adult and accept life on life's terms, because it's not fun at
No.
Right.
times,
Right.
as we know. But
Right.
No.
anyway, I do wonder if some of that journey afforded some sort of strength at the microphone that was palpable and intangible. and something that I can't even articulate clearly.
Right. No, I totally get that. And that I think any of those, accomplishments or, what's the word I'm looking for? Anything that we do that we've set out to do just adds to our confidence level and, life experiences. And like you were saying, most things that, whether it's weightlifting, losing weight,
All
working,
that.
playing an instrument, it's 99.9% brain. You think it, it's, oh, weight loss is going to be very, very much a body thing. It's really not. If you get your mind where you want it to be, it
Yeah.
just, like you said, you don't even realize that it's happening because it
Yeah.
becomes easy. The reason people, they have problems with addiction or, if they want to lose weight or get in shape, it's because they're not really ready mentally to
Yeah.
go there. And once they
Yeah.
do, it just kind of, a lot of times just kind of happens. And they're like, I'm never going back because I like this. For me
Yeah.
personally, this is where I like to be, and I don't really want to go back usually.
I had an interesting experience last night. A friend of mine went to college with, he became a rabbi. And I went to temple
Hmm.
last night, and I am sort of non-denominational. I find myself to be a very spiritual person, but I see a lot of good in a lot of ideologies from all over the world. But I don't know if that's wussing out without making a commitment. But I learned a lot, and one of the things that was said was that what brings us together is not always the light, meaning it's our universal struggle with the darkness and how we accept that, the dark and the light, how we face that challenge and embrace it and sort of lean into it. That's what unites us. That's what makes people go, I understand that character. When Ahsoka wants to leave the Jedi Order, oh my gosh, it's like,
Right.
I can't tell you how much when I met Ashley Eckstein. And I hear this a lot when people say, no, you don't understand, that cartoon got me through a really hard time. Clone Wars got me through a really hard time. I mean, there's always a hard time.
Yeah.
Right.
Whatever
sure.
you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s,
Right.
like whatever, you get kids, you don't, you blah, blah, blah. But anyway, my point is I learned something. And basically at the end of the service, the rabbi said that, and then he was quoting something in the Old Testament about having a curse, using a curse as a blessing, like transforming a curse into a blessing.
Right.
And that, one could say, oh, I'm 50 pounds overweight, it's a curse, or it's a blessing because it's the very opportunity that afforded me the ability to find my way. And then, whatever else has transpired here with all these wonderful people that I've met and this and that. So, yeah, I'm grateful that we can get together on the mindset issue, no matter what the details are, no matter what the fandom is, no matter what the story is or the narrative.
Right.
I think that's why I love stories so much.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was going to say that's, again, whether it's Star Wars or any of these other long lasting IPs or just stories in general, it is about that struggle. It's the human condition is what you're trying to relate to. Like, the good in people you might relate to, but the problems that we all face, that's what makes us go, oh, wow, we're really not that different because I got to pay my bills just like you do every month. And I got to worry about that. My kids, are they going to have what they need and yada, yada. And that is what kind of gets people on that same even plane in relatability.
Yeah.
Or those
And
struggles.
how do we face the bigger issues even? Like, how do we change it? And sometimes it just takes small changes every single day in order to make a larger change down the road. It's just, how do we attack that? How do we confront that? And are we doing anything about it?
I mean, I think Ashley Eckstein does such a great job of exemplifying that strength of character, but also, she has her Mental Health Monday posts that she does, and she has an awareness about bullying. And like sometimes she'll post a photo of herself without any makeup on at all.
Right.
And I feel like, having grown up in the 80s, that would never have flown back then.
No.
You don't own your dark side. You tuck it up, gold lame and hairspray all over it. Black it up to look like everything's great,
Right.
Whereas today, I feel like I fall in love with her more and more, just because, and she's a terrific human being, but because she is willing to be vulnerable and let us see her
Mm.
humanity.
Right.
She's not putting forth some, and then she always, I mean, my gosh, when she's on the red carpet, I mean, she's exceptional,
Yeah.
exceptionally beautiful, and she is also without makeup on. But
Mhm.
I feel
Right.
like it lets women know that we don't always have to have jazz hands and perfect hair.
Exactly. No,
Right.
I love
Right.
that about her. We actually met her this past May. She was at our Comic-Con. So we stood through her line, and what struck me about her was she's so humble, she's so down to earth. She just wants to connect with people. She spent all this time with her fans, and so it was just absolutely wonderful to be, to meet her and to see what she brings forth to her character and the fact that she does exemplify that as well, in her day-to-day life. So I just thought that was awesome.
Yeah. There are a lot of women in the voiceover community whom I admire
Mhm.
similarly. I mean, I just think she's top of mind at the very moment.
Right. Yeah.
She really leads the way.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
She's a sweetheart. We actually, her and Matt and oh man, I'm blanking. Obi-Wan. Come on.
Oh
James
no.
Earl
James.
Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. James, they're all super sweethearts, and
Yes.
Ashley has such a huge fan base. I mean, we talked with a couple, it was a pretty long line, and there's a lot of younger girls that are there, and we're talking with the dad had to bring her, and all this, and we're just kind of killing time talking to everybody, and just how much characters and actors mean to the especially formative year age group people.
Mhm.
It really is genuine, and
Yeah.
it's again very much they're relatable, and something touched them and kind of made them maybe want to see life in a different way or whatever. But
Yeah.
she's very awesome, and we're still hoping that her husband figured out how to tie a bow, because we were having issue. We were trying to help him tie
Oh
up a
my God.
present for somebody. It was pretty hilarious. So that was my.
Oh my gosh. That's
I was
funny.
trying to help them, but no, they're both sweethearts, and they're
Yeah.
all like that. And we know a few voice actors personally, and we always tell this to them. They're some of the most genuine, sweetest people, and I
Yeah.
think I think the voiceover thing, people think that it's so much easier than and I don't think I think voice acting is probably the toughest, because you can
Mm,
literally be anything you want. You are not hindered by your physical appearance or makeup or whatever. You literally can be whatever you want, and you got to come up with, you got to
sure.
bring it from, somewhere. And to
Yeah.
me, and I think that keeps people kind of humble and more well-rounded. It's not they're not selling just them, they're selling the actual character in that role, or whatever it is. So
Definitely.
I think that
Definitely.
leads to that. So
I agree.
yep. Yeah. So speaking of cons, we know we've had a heck of a time getting together, just because I know everybody's schedule's crazy, and we actually just got back from Arizona doing a con with the Red Dead cast 2 weeks
Oh, that's
ago.
right.
So that was insane,
Yeah.
and is everybody's so and they're all into cons the very next weekend. So what are some of your favorite con experiences? I mean, we know you have a whole wall behind you of cool experiences,
Oh
but
gosh. Yeah. Well, C2E2 in Chicago was so much fun. San Diego Comic-Con 2014 was like a life-changing event. Um, yeah, I think that was actually Star Wars Celebration. I was going to say the 501st made me an honorary member, but the
oh,
Mandalorian
nice.
did, and the Rebel Legion, and just all these just magical friendships were these bonds were formed. And Star Wars Weekends definitely has been just so special to me.
Hmm.
New York Comic Con, I also love. There's a group that we always get together and we have Vader tots together, and it's so much fun.
Nice.
And even in the pandemic, we would meet with each other on Zoom.
Hmm.
We all ordered, tater tots from somewhere and called them Vader tots. Like I'm telling you, that hashtag Star Wars family thing, it's 100% real. It's interesting. I'm going to Virginia at the end of this month. I'm going to let's see, I have a couple cons coming up. There's another one I just found out about in Tampa. Where are you guys located?
We're in Michigan.
Like
Michigan.
near,
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, near Ann
Yeah,
Arbor.
Yep.
There's Fairfax Comic-Con August 26th in Virginia. So hopefully people will be there. I don't think I know anyone in that area, but hopefully folks will show up. And then there's another Superstar Comic-Con, and I believe that's in Savannah at the
Mhm.
end of, let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to find it here. The 26th, I think.
That'd be fun. A
Yeah,
lot of people go to Georgia, so that one's probably gonna have a really good turnout. And I think
oh,
Virginia
really?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should
Superstar-
see quite a good turnout for both of
Yeah,
them.
Superstar Comic Con September 23rd and 24th at the Savannah Convention Center. That'll be fun. And then there's another one in Arizona that
Mm-hmm.
I believe the whole band is getting back together to go to.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's what is the, hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, I think there was. I don't remember if it was in a couple more weeks, or
Yeah,
if that's the same one, because I think that's
I
one that
think I
Nolan might be
posted
going
it.
to. But yeah,
Yeah, I think I posted it to my story. Oh
yeah,
wait,
I
here
think
it
so
is.
too.
It's the UWU.
Yeah, the ooh, yeah,
The ooh.
yeah, we,
That's it. Yeah,
yeah, that's a anime
that's
thing.
yeah. Let's see. It's October
Yeah.
27th and 29th at Legacy Park, uwucon.com.
Yeah.
And Taylor's going to be there. I think
Hmm.
Freddie, Tia.
Yeah.
So that'll be in Arizona. I think it's in Mesa, Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's
Very cool.
great.
Very excited to go all over. But I had a great time in Indiana at Indie Pop.
Hmm.
Trying to think. Oh, Seattle, the Emerald City Con, that was amazing.
I've heard that one's really big and
I've
very
heard that one's
cool. Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
Washington Toy Show recently we just did in April was spectacular. It was epic.
Hmm.
Yeah, we had so much fun together. It was just so great to be together again. And I just love it.
Yeah.
It's the family, it's the crew back together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Recently I started doing these esports things,
Mhm.
going to DreamHack San Diego, DreamHack Dallas, and I hope to go to DreamHack in Atlanta in December. So I'll be back in Georgia in December, I believe. But I'm hosting various activations for different video games for Dallas in beginning of June. Diablo had just come out, so I'm in that game, and I was there with Jennifer Hale and Deborah Wilson and a bunch of other voiceover actors, Robin Atkin Downs, and hosted a bunch of panels for them. It's just I guess because I come from a stand-up comedy background, I'm very happy to host panels and interview
Hmm.
people, stuff like that. Again, it's like I don't need to be at the center of
Right.
any of it. I just love
Right. You're a
being.
fan. You get to be a fan on the microphone with the
Yeah,
other
I mean,
fans. Yep.
we did a Halo panel and we had this Halo speed racer. He's like a speed
Yeah.
player.
Oh
Speedrunner. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
those are
Yeah.
fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Those are
Oh my
really
gosh. So
crazy.
it was so fascinating to hear his view on the game, given how we recorded it and sort of how it lands on the player. I find the whole thing so fascinating. And I know that the internet has its dark corners, but it also has a lovely way to once again bring us together and amplify one another. That I love that, and that's the part that I accentuate, and the playfulness
Hmm.
with which people approach Twitch and this and that. I love watching people stream online. It's just great to hang out. So
Mhm.
For sure. That is. We just started going around 2019, like right before the pandemic. We started going to cons. We've always been
yeah,
big nerds together, but we said, we should check it out and see what it's all about. And we have
yeah,
made lifelong friendships with some of the
right.
actors, a lot of people that we've met there. We're still talking the Red Dead we went to in Arizona. We're still messaging and texting the cast, messaging people that we met there that we've kind of known online for a little bit, and just
Oh, I
everybody
love
keeping in
it.
touch and that
Yeah,
positive, keeping that positivity going. Because now
100%.
more than ever, people are just so either busy or going through so many things that to
Sure.
keep that positivity is really nice, and not everybody has that outlet, kind of.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those can be very cool.
definitely.
Yeah.
I've started my own Twitch channel,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna do something called Women Crush Wednesdays.
Mhm.
And I got my studio together. I don't know if you can see
Oh,
that.
very cool.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's so
Yeah, and I was
cool.
gonna mention that because that's how we kind of started talking. Was I was showing
Exactly.
up to your streams, and I love when actors, either even if it's not their own game or something they were in, it's just
Yeah.
fun to see them, get
Well,
into the
yeah,
stuff
Street
and
Fighter. I was trying to play Street Fighter. It was
right. Yep.
hilarious.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna start streaming. We have everything almost up to speed. My friend is coming tomorrow to help me finish it out. And our goal was to start at the end of August, to start doing every Wednesday, Women Crush Wednesday. I want to have
Mhm.
my various female voiceover colleagues come and play. That's why I have
Awesome.
a couch there. We're going to play the games that we're in. Like, first of all, Kari Walgren is in
Oh,
Mortal
nice.
Kombat with me. So I want her to come over.
Yep.
I put a fridge down there. So we have like monster,
Nice.
That's
whatever
awesome.
we need to like get it going.
Right. Right.
But just to have a really cool hang and start with just one night on Wednesdays and see if we can't build that toward going to the DreamHack events together for like a Women Crush Wednesdays event. But
Right.
um, just celebrating women in the world of esports and in the world of voiceover. And I might do a secondary night that's like a Star Wars nerd night with Sam Witwer and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're avid gamers.
You'll have a hard time dragging Sam into that, I'm sure.
I'm
'Cause,
sure.
yeah, he's gonna hate that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
But
love it.
Yep.
it's just so fun. I think after being locked up in the pandemic, it's so important to create that fun for ourselves and really take advantage of the fact that we survived all that. And
Right.
what I also love about DreamHack and a recent event that I did, the Metal Gear Solid event that I did, we raised a bunch of money for the Wounded Warrior Project. And in the DreamHack San Diego, they raised $41,000 for the Autism Society. So if you can have fun and pay it forward, I think
Right.
Yeah.
nothing else matters.
No, no. And that's what I've noticed too, is a lot of times with like gaming and like being on Twitch or getting together for the events, a lot of it's for charity and everybody is, open-handed and willing to give and happy to give and just be together and, celebrate whatever our, nerdum community is and, give back as well.
Well, I do hope that something's going to take me more in your area. I'm sure there's going to be a con where we can.
Yeah.
We have Motor City Comic Con coming up. They changed it basically right after the pandemic when cons were starting to happen again. It was yearly, but now we're doing two. We're doing one in like May-ish, and then another one. This one's in November. So we actually know Jeff Zanini, who is Celebrity Talent Booking and all that, who does a lot of the actors, and so we're gonna try to get as many people. We're gonna harass them to the point, just before legal action, but basically really get on them to try to get people there and come and hang out. So hopefully we can
my God,
throw your name in the ring too.
I'm with CelebWorks.
Yeah,
CelebWorks represents me. Yeah. So if you want the rebels to come,
yep,
we'll
put in.
That's what we had. We had we met and hung out with Yuri and Tara too, Platt, and I know they're part of that too. So we'd love to have them back too. So everybody's
that's awesome.
Everybody's
that's
welcome.
Awesome.
We have a good time.
Yeah.
But
we'll typically keep an eye out for if you're like within the area, because we'll go to other cons like the indie cons or like Ohio C2E2. I mean, C2E2 was spectacular. It's crazy. We loved it.
Right?
But we need to go back. It's just the plan.
Yeah, I think I was there before the pandemic.
Yeah, were you there in 2019? The one literally right? Yeah, because so were we to see. She wanted to see all the Critical Role people.
Oh
and
yeah,
we had we only had time to do half of them because it was there were so many.
It was
people.
insane. It was.
We were in the building. We were all in the building together.
We were there together.
So in spirit.
So close, so close,
so close. But the streaming thing I think is really cool because I think a lot of people started doing that. Everybody was kind of trapped indoors. To me, it was kind of a fun way to play games with your couch, like when you were a kid, back in the day, with anybody all over the world. And we did that. We kind of we still are streaming a little bit, and that is a really cool way to have that experience of just having people over to play games together. They're all even if they're in a chat, like you said, have some of your have voice actor friends come and join in on it, and just have that cool experience. I think is
definitely.
still a huge thing for people, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm exploring it and I'm loving it. So we'll
right.
see.
There's no wrong, you know, there's no wrong
Yeah,
answer to doing it. I mean, there's so many cool,
yeah,
fun things you could do, and
yeah,
we like I like to tell, you know, especially some of the actors are like, you know, I'm not good at games, but I really want to get into it. Our disclaimer is don't worry about it. People don't want to see you be good. They want to see you have fun.
Yep.
yeah,
Like that's all
exactly.
that matters. As long as you guys are
One
having
thing,
fun,
yeah.
it's
One
good.
thing I know about me is I do learn. I'm first time through, not so much, but by
Right.
the third time, it's like, whoa, goodness.
Mm-hmm.
I do have the capacity to
Right.
to change and get better. So I think that'll also hopefully be
Mhm.
fun to watch.
That
Yeah.
is that journey of improving kind of is fun too. You know,
Yeah,
you don't everybody
yeah,
starts awful at, you know, anything
yeah,
they the first time,
sure.
but it's fun to go on that journey, you know, and have some
Yeah,
laughs along the way too. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
yeah.
very cool. Other than that, what other hobbies do you have? Like what do you do just to kick back when you're not in the Star
In
Wars
the
stuff or the
recording booth.
nerddom? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love going to the gym. I love lifting weights. I love martial arts. I love boxing. I love hiking. If I could just walk, my favorite thing to do, like I said, is to go to London and see theater. But the other thing I love about London is you can walk out the door and walk everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose that's true anywhere on earth, but
Right.
in London, it just seems like it's such a pedestrian friendly city that
Mhm.
I just, that's my favorite thing, is just to walk all day long. I
Yeah.
love walking. Um, and yeah, I love going to movies with my friends and chopping it up, afterward, like, breaking down the movie
Yeah.
Right.
and kind of getting into it.
Mhm.
I Zoom a lot with friends. I guess that's left over from the pandemic. We
Right.
online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, the streaming is kind of a new hobby for me, so I'm exploring it. I think it's always good to sort of learn new things and
Mhm.
try new things. So we'll see how it goes.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same way. I like to get my hands in anything new we can try out, and the streaming thing. I think, like I said, there's so many different things you can do with it. I
Mhm.
don't
Yeah,
think you could ever really get bored, you know, unless you keep doing the same
yeah,
thing over. But there's so many, like you said, there you could have a Star Wars night one night and a, you know, Woman Crush
yeah,
Wednesday, and you could
yeah,
literally fill the whole week with different types of streams.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
there's endless possibility. So
definitely,
yeah,
definitely.
Mhm. For
Yeah.
sure.
yep, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much all the main topics we wanted to hit. I
All
think
right.
we
Do you
learned a
have,
lot. We got, you know,
yeah, for sure. I was
I'm
gonna
gonna have
say,
to step up my background game next time though, because I am feeling
All
way left
good,
out,
all
man.
good.
You know,
Yeah, well,
but
one of the other things that I'm developing is a merch store, and I don't know if you saw my avatar photo. I
yes, yep,
yes, yes.
that,
yep,
that's me in 11th grade
I
with an
love it.
yep,
incredible mullet, and
yes,
I'm in my merch store. I created a candle with that photo on it that says "Worship the mullet." So those and other fun items will be found in my merch store. I mean, and of course, I'm donating proceeds to various charities.
hmm
Yep.
Um, I want to do something for Native American communities, and Black Girls Code is another one that I haven't
Mhm.
had a chance to donate to yet. But I feel like every month there'll be a different theme, for Women's History Month, maybe something else. But anyway, it's an irreverent
right.
celebration of the mullet,
Hey, we
paying
love
it
it.
I
forward.
I
We
love it.
yeah.
I saw the picture and I was like, that is amazing.
Yep.
No, we love
Yeah.
all things '80s, so
Yep.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Vanessa
for
in
sure.
high school is good times. Good
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
Well,
always.
thank you both so much. I'm
Yeah,
so grateful that we finally got to do this, and I
For
look forward to
sure.
hanging out with you.
us too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
for sure.
sure. We will definitely catch you on Twitch, and if not in person,
Yeah.
one of these times.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. If the Motor City thing happens, that would be delightful. We'll have to
Yeah. Well,
link
i-
up. Sure.
if it's anywhere, you know, like we usually have like about a 5 hour radius that will, you know, we have
Sure, sure.
no problem traveling. It's very easy to get in and out of where we
Yeah,
live. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of the
cool.
bigger ones around this area that will just kind of, you know, like we go to a lot of the indie ones and like the Chicago, and we were
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Toledo, is super close. They had one
Oh,
at the beginning actually of this year. So
Yeah.
you know,
Awesome.
any of
Well,
those. So if
thank
you're
you.
anywhere near, we'll make something happen. But yeah,
Very, very
we'll
cool.
put all the links to all your socials and everything, so everybody can
Mhm.
kind of follow you and keep. And definitely in the shop, we're definitely gonna, you know, your merch store. We'll definitely
Yeah.
link that too if you want to shoot me a
Thank
link, and
you.
we'll push that too. But
For charity, of course.
right,
Yes.
right.
Absolutely.
The
Definitely.
before we totally cap things off, we like to do at least a couple really important questions. You know, we've had a lot of fun topics we talked about, but this is where we really hit the hard stuff.
Oh
So
gosh. Okay.
so the first big one that seems to be the most divisive, and we've actually lost friends over,
Oh no.
is in your house, in any room that is like a living room or bedroom or whatever, what's your preferred type of flooring? Carpet or hardwood, hard surface?
Hard surface.
Okay. All right.
He's a
Hard.
carpet guy. I'm
Well,
either or.
well,
So
yeah.
I don't like soft beds. I don't
Oh,
like
really?
I like to sleep on a rock. I like to walk on
see,
hard.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to know where I begin and end. There's
Okay.
something about carpet that makes me feel a little nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
I respect that. I respect that.
It's
Yeah.
squishy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I understand that the thrill of carpet.
I do.
get
Yeah. I work in a lot of different houses, so I'm constantly running around. So, you know,
Oh,
a lot of people now have like slate and like hard jagged floors in some of the rooms, and you know, when
yeah.
you're carrying things, it kind of hurts after a while, but I like
I
to
don't blame
sometimes
you.
I like to just lay down on a nice soft plush carpet and pass out
Yeah,
on the floor, but you
I
know,
have a
it teach
rug.
their own. There
Yeah.
you go. There you go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like a carpet but smaller.
Yeah. Has a beginning, middle, and end.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yep.
There you go. You
Yeah.
know what you're getting into with it. Um, another big one that we like is, what do you think is the best cereal? Not just your favorite, even. What do you think is the best cereal?
The best cereal.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a cereal eater, unfortunately. Well, a couple come to mind. There's something very satisfying about Raisin Bran.
That
Yes.
is a top tier answer. Yep.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, the raisins really get me
Mhm.
through. I don't know,
Yep.
there's just something very comforting about
Yes.
it.
Agreed.
I mean, but if you're gonna do, like garbage cereal, as in pure sugar, Fruity Pebbles or Lucky Charms,
Yes.
or
Yes.
those are also crowd pleasers. You can't go
Yeah.
wrong. You're gonna go that route.
Yeah. Fruity Pebbles was probably my number one, you know, after cartoons.
Yeah.
Jam out like 2 bowls of that, watch Bob Ross, and completely pass out for the rest of the day. That's the
Genius.
Saturday go-to. So,
Perfect.
yep, yep. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa, for hanging out,
Thank
and we will definitely try to hook up at some point if you're
Mhm.
anywhere near here. We'll try to get you here in Michigan if we can
Excellent.
make
We'll
it
just
happen.
stay in close touch.
For
That sounds
sure.
Sure.
great.
We appreciate you so
For
much.
sure.
All right. Thank you so
All
much.
right,
Have a
thank
great
you.
weekend.
Yeah, you
Take
too.
care.
too.
All righty.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.